Okay, I looked and could not find a definitive connections. We got a terminal here that says W, and one here that says T, and obviously E being earth, ground, W, so I figured, well, the one with the white in it, and T because that's the only other one that's left. Every wiring diagram I looked at, it doesn't really seem to state which cable, which wire goes to which terminal. If you know any different, let me know. I guess I've got to see if it works. The next fun thing, see that piece of blue tape? That's a nut that goes on to this. Yeah, but somehow I got to catch it, and then I got to get wrenches on it. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to have to bring the car down to a lower level because I can't do it at the height it's at the moment. All right. Well, I guess this little plate can go back in. Which way do I want it to face? Does it matter? No. Sorry, I can't do that one-handed. Do I want it that way? Do I want it that way? I think I want it that way. I think that will be much more better. Alright, as I said, got to do that two-handed. Then, what else we got? Oh, well, then it's, shit, once I get that pipe on, this one, it's on to getting the water pump, the fuel pump sorted out, mounted and connected, and also tidying up these wires. I might leave this panel off until, sure, I'm thinking that hurts. Yeah, until I've got fuel in the tank and tested it and seen whether the pump leaks or not, and also if it works, because that wouldn't matter if it doesn't, especially with all the money I've spent just on the pump. Okay, someone was mentioning in my last video, or on my last video, that they can't wait to see me do the boot seal. You may have to wait a little bit. Not that I don't have it. I do. I have it. It's over there, hanging on the wall. Over there. I just round to it. Okay. Oh, and I've also got to put the gas cap back on here. Oh, and even more struggly poo is this seal. Now, I don't know whether it's, I haven't got the tank mounted correctly, I don't believe it's that, or whether it's just the normal Chinesium crap. But it's not quite central, so that's going to give me a bit of grief. I think I might try loosening the bolts underneath and see if I can move it to get the spout. Sorry, that's probably a bit dark. As you can see, it's not quite central. However, what I was trying to point out to you, if you look at this, you can see it has an angle on the back here. That angle goes in because the spout comes out at an angle, and therefore you have to put it on that way. Do not put it on that way because it's wrong. Put it on that way. I know it's bloody simple, isn't it? You know, there's an angle and the pipe's at an angle. Oh, and obviously these cutouts, they're to do with those cutouts, one there and one there. I can only assume that this was Jaguar's idea and said, well, supposing you spill some gas in there. Well, we don't want it staying in there, let's just let it drain out onto the floor, which is what they did. So yeah, that'll go on that way. As I said, I think I'm going to loosen up the bolts on the tank to try and move this So it's going to be a case of up and down to get it right. So that if I can move it, which I can't at the moment. Isn't that fun, huh? Yep. No, I might even give that a polish in there before I put the lid back on. Yep. Okay, let's get on and do other stuff, and I'll bring you back in a short moment. Okay, this is the hose that I used for that breather, shall we say, from the tank. And I put a little test piece in fuel, and I've left it sitting there for 2 days. The most that is done, it's made it less flexible. It's a little harder to bend, but it hasn't dissolved. It hasn't really had a great deal of effect on it, and the breather will not be sitting in fuel all the time anyway. So I'm not worried about that. Just thought I'd throw that in so that you guys knew. And what is this? 3/16 vinyl. Zero, well, it looks like 0700, but it's hard to tell with the printing. And what does that say? Gosh, 022, God knows what, 193574. Anyway, it's a vinyl hose, and yeah, it gets a little discoloured and it goes a little stiff. God, I wish I had that problem. Maybe I should paint mine yellow. Okay, with the tank back in now, I've got to get the seal in there. It's not evenly spaced, but then again, this is probably a Chinesium crap tank. It's a brand new tank. So I think with copious amounts of WD-40, maybe a little persuasion, hang on a second, let me put that up there, with a little persuasion to move it that way, and that can be done with a tri-bar or something, just while I'm getting the seal in. But before I attempt to do that, I want to clean this out in here and make it, well, not make it pretty, but I don't want all this crap, because it could prevent me from putting in the seal. So let me give that a good wash out with some, I don't know, I might use my Scrubble Bubble trick in here. What do you think? Yeah, Scrubble Bubbles. Here's me Scrubbly Bubbly. Let's just let that do its thing. I'm not worried about the little bit that goes in the tank. I'm sure that will not affect anything. So let's just leave that now. We'll come back in a few minutes. Okay, you can see how clean that looks, and that's, I haven't even touched it. That's just letting the Scrubbly Bubbles do its thing. Now let me just give it a wipe with a cloth. There you go. So that's all wiped down now, and doesn't it look lovely? And as my friend Richard Michael Owen would say, if you have any tips, tricks, ideas, please do let me know. They will be most appreciated. Now let's get that grommet in.